Hello and welcome, FPL managers. Welcome to Ghana Football Fantasy, and we are live for game week 14, not 13, because 13 was pretty interesting. So I cannot forget about what happened in 13 for a particular reason, of course. But we all know that. I'll come back to that, make reference to it as well, and remind a couple of people. But yeah, it's good to be back for game week 14, and of course we have a very, very special guest who's coming back to our show again and again. And it's, of course, joining us from India, world number 311, Sankalp Nanda. Sankalp, welcome.
Thank you so much, Nadeem bhai. Good to see you guys again.
Yeah, and happy Diwali, Sankalp.
Thank you so much. I'm decked up, house is lighted up. Good festivities, long weekend, so pretty much, enjoying these days.
Yeah, great, and it's wonderful that you are able to make the time out of this your busy schedule, and in between your festivities, and then take the time to join us. We're always grateful to you for that, and thank you so much for your appreciation. And of course, it just goes to show that your love for FPL, and your dedication towards the game. So wonderful, and of course, I appreciate that wonderful lighting behind it, and of course, I can hear that firecrackers going. So, audience, if you hear the firecrackers, it's not me doing something stupid or Saif doing something stupid or Jahangir captaining Salah. It's basically Sankalp enjoying his festivities. So that's the noise about it. Not Jahangir, sometime, his heart broken and stuff like that. It's not the sound
but
of
but there
Jahangir's
will
heart.
be some firecrackers from me in this game week because I will be captaining Haaland again.
All right, we will come to the captaincy discussion, Jahangir, and of course, we will try to make sure that your heart is broken again and not ours. We'll try again, and it will be a, there is apparently a sort of a, like in the UK you have these petitions which you can sign, and then it kind of, if a number of people can sign it, and then it goes up to what you call it, to the parliament for a debate. In our case, we don't have a debate and we don't have it. What we do is we basically get all the fans to cheer us up and support a particular issue, and then we just force you to do that. So you will probably be obliged to do it. So yeah, we look forward to that. But anyway, guys, we're going to have a long, interesting discussion. We have hot topics. We have pretty interesting hot topics, and it basically covers most of the dilemmas that we are facing ahead of the game week 14. But also we'll be discussing a bit of zonal weakness and the zonal strength. Sankalp will be doing all the honors. And of course, Saif is also here with us. And of course, this is a collaboration between FPLBD and Ghana Football Fantasy. So thank you to FPLBD for that. And Jahangir, you're always appreciated, as you know. And Saif, forever green, Liverpool fan, a bit timid these days, very quiet, going under the radar, not really talking too much, not really paying too much attention to what we are doing. And of course, avoiding discussions with Arsenal fans, of course. So, yeah, I find it interesting platform today to have Sankalp as an Arsenal fan, and then, Saif as a Liverpool fan. So, yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting discussion. Lots of comments are already starting to come, but before we go into the comments, I just want to remind everybody that you can please send your questions before 11:10 p.m. All the questions that comes in before 11:10 p.m. will be answered live. Any question that comes in after 11:12, 11:10 will not be answered, unfortunately. So our apologies for that. But you do understand that we do make a lot of sacrifices. You can see Sankalp giving up his festivities for the game. So that's a huge sacrifice he's making. So please do take all this into consideration. And please do share all your questions, all your dilemmas. We are happy to answer all that comes in before 11:10. So let's go straight into the show. And of course, this is, sorry, wrong slide. Yeah, this is your Footalochona FPL Ghana show, of course, for Game Week 14. And of course, if you haven't liked, subscribed, given us a review, followed us on Twitter, YouTube, or on Instagram, where we are collaborating with All About FPL, where Sankalp is a important and a prominent member of All About FPL, then please do like and follow. And of course, as you know, Ghana Football Fantasy is the first page, FPL related page in Bangladesh that is part of this Fantasy Football Scout network. All the data that you see on the show are part of the Fantasy Football Scout members area. If you're interested in the members area and become a member of Fantasy Football Scout, please do use the login details and the link to get 15% discount from us. And of course, if you need any assistance with the sign up, please do reach out to us and we'd be happy to help. Yeah. So all the formalities done. Now to the main show, and here we go. So there's a bit of a congestion which we are kind of repeatedly showing these days. It's because it is to draw your attention and not be surprised like, oh God, why did Pep suddenly bench Foden? And why was Perisic dropped and Sessegnon suddenly made it? It's because of this. So to discuss this, I would like to ask Saif to take it over. Saif, over to you.
Thank you, Nadim bhai. First of all, it's an honor to share the screen with Sankalp again. So happy to have you back, Sankalp. Hope you're doing well. So let's start with the fixture crash. We have been saying that over the last couple of pods that fixtures congestion is here and it will continue till the World Cup is upon us. So, and again, I would like to say here that we are only playing for the next 3 game weeks, right? Because we all have a mandatory wild card. We have to play our we have unlimited transfer during the World Cup time. So before that, we have whatever free hits or free transfers we have to use them before that. So we are only playing for the next 3 game weeks. So I think it might be time for a bit of a punt, and this helps a bit because all the top teams are having a fixture crush. They are all involved in the European competitions like the Europa League or also the Conference League for West Ham. So it's we can have a bit of a punt for the lesser or the mid-table teams like Leicester, who has been in great form, Everton, who has some good fixtures coming up, Fulham has shown some good attacking form. So we can take some punts in the 3 coming game weeks. So as you can see that Man City, I think they have already qualified. So they would not, I think they would not prioritize the European matches, and they are also in a tough battle with Arsenal for the league position. So I think they will mainly focus on the league. And Foden's benching, and I think was just a bit of Pep roulette, nothing to do with the European game coming up, because I don't think Pep will prioritize the European games because they have already qualified, and I think they are pretty assured of getting the top spot in the group. For Liverpool, it's a different scenario. Leeds game sits right between the Ajax and Napoli game. So if Liverpool cannot win at Ajax, so their qualification will depend on the Napoli game. So and in that case, I think Leeds game might see some rotations. Salah might be benched because he has been playing quite a while. He has not been getting some rest time. So if they cannot win against Ajax, I think Salah might be benched against Leeds. And Chelsea, I think, despite playing well I think they're in the top spot in the UCL their group. But I think you cannot predict Potter. We don't from what we have seen from his short stint at Chelsea as Chelsea boss. He just does. He is like a second coming of Pep. He does things we cannot predict or we cannot put any logic behind. So I would stay away from any Chelsea assets. And Perisic, we all know that Perisic was a rotation risk for Spurs because Conte likes to switch the fullbacks a lot, and he has five or six wing backs at his disposal. So I would not go there again. Then Arsenal is the similar case for Arsenal and Man United because I think they are in pretty good position in their Europa League groups, and so they will prioritize the leagues. So I think the rotation concern is not that much there. And West Ham also, they have, I think, secured qualification from their Conference League group. So I think the rotation would be minimum there. But still, they are playing Man United away. So I think if you have any West Ham like Bowen or any defenders from them, I would prefer to bench them this game week if you can and play the likes of Pereira or Bailey if you have them. And so all these 7 teams are having a fixture crush. They have 2 to 3 days between the games coming up. So we might take some punts. So we will discuss further. And let's go to the next topic. Thank you, Nadim.
Right, thanks. By the way, just to let everyone know, and I should have said this earlier, but I wasn't able to. It kind of slipped my mind, but I kind of remembered right now. So I thought of sharing this. For those wondering what happened to Ashfaq, just to let everybody know, Ashfaq at this moment is currently finding himself in a bit of a difficult situation because of family reasons. His mother is very, very ill. He has requested all of us to actually pray for his mother. And of course, we hope that his mother recovers very soon. So shout out to Ashfaq. All our best wishes and prayers are with you and everybody from Ghana Football, and all the followers of Ghana Football and FPLBD are praying for your mother's quick recovery. And of course, Parvez is always behind the scene if anybody is wondering. And Pranay is currently off this week due to work. So yeah, that's just an update of where the Ghana Football fantasy teams are in terms of, but I think Ashfaq needed a special shout out for the situation that he finds himself. It's a very difficult situation. While his heart is here, his head is somewhere else. So that's the dilemma that he's facing. Unfortunately, the zonal weakness cannot help in this case, where to solve the zonal the issue. But yeah, we wish Ashfaq and his mother, of course, a quick recovery, and we hope he'll be back soon with us. And yeah, we'll be happy to have him again. Yeah, right. Sankalp, so let's go to the next one. And the next thing is, of course, the hot topics, and where we kind of covered the most of the important discussion points and the talking points, of course. So coming back to the first one, of course, and the first one is, of course, is it worth doing Salah to Saka and spreading the cash? And for that, of course, because it's from Liverpool to Arsenal, and I see just the moment I talked about Salah to Saka, somebody just switched off his screen very smartly. That is a good way of hiding his embarrassment, but yeah, it's a smart one. Unfortunately, didn't work. But we have somebody who's on number one at the top of the table, and then we have somebody who supports a club who's particularly currently holding number one. So over to you, Sankalp. What do you think about Salah to Saka and spreading the cash?
I did it last week, so I like the move. I don't think there's a lot of downside to it over the 3 weeks, over the 3 game weeks. This game week might be, a bit tricky because traditionally Salah against Leeds does well, right? And this is a home match, so you would think that there can be something there. But again, one thing to note is Leeds is a team which is, I think Leeds coach is a person who's kind of under pressure, right? So I'm sure he'll not look to make things easy for this Liverpool team. He'll not be stupid. He'll not go completely into attack, right? And while the fixtures have not really played into their hands, I think Leeds have been fairly decent. They have their ups and downs as from a performance point of view, right? So if you ask me, I would say do it with 3 weeks in mind. This week things can go either way, right? Because Salah also has a pretty good fixture, but over 3 weeks, I think things would be similar. You will not lose out a lot. And the best thing that we have is, earlier Salah used to be the perma captain option, right? And that's the major reason we used to think of, not taking him out of the team. But we have a new Don in the league now, right? Someone else is there taking that spot for us. So as a normal FPL, player, I think it makes sense to just do it and spread the cash around.
Yeah, good point. But Sankar, just to draw your attention to a particular point where we see that, while looking at it from the defensive data point of view, and while doing a bit of a data analysis, we don't see really Leeds to be the Leeds like last year under Bielsa. Yeah. And there seems to be some sort of a defensive improvement, but somehow we, as FPL managers, haven't been able to really adapt to that particular change that has come into Leeds, where somehow our preconceived mindset is more like, Leeds means okay, they are open at the back, and target them, and they will probably the other team will probably score a lot of goals. What do you think when it comes to the transfer from Salah to Saka? What do you think the Salah's chances are, considering the improvement when it comes to Leeds? What do you think?
Yeah. So one thing I noticed is Leeds are still a bit leaky when it comes to away matches. I think they are like in the bottom three when it comes to goals conceded in the away matches. Again, it's a small sample, like 6 matches only. Yeah, but that stat still remains. So While I see considerable improvement in the way they play, especially I saw, we went away to Leeds a couple of game weeks back, and they made it really, really tough for us. I think we were very lucky to win it 1-0 that game week, right? So I don't think it will be as open as Bielsa, like you pointed out, for sure. But Liverpool will still get chances. The only major point that is Salah the guy who will get the big chances, because so far that's not happening at all, right? He's spending considerable amount of time wider from the goal, and only the recent comments that I see from Klopp, where he acknowledges that this is a problem and maybe he will try to make a few tweaks where Darwin Nunes and Salah might play together as a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2, right? So there are some discussions there, but the point is it's only 3 game weeks, right? We are not making like Sevai pointed out, we are not going to make a team for another 10 game weeks post which we will use a wild card, right? It's just a decision that you make for 3 game weeks. I don't think you lose out a lot from a outcome point of view if you go from Salah to Saka. I think it'll be similar over the next 3 weeks. And then of course, if you feel there's anything wrong about it, you can always come back and visit it post the World Cup, where Salah comes in fresh, and players like Saka will come after a weary World Cup, right? So you can take those decisions a bit later. For now, spreading the cash around, going full on attack makes sense to me.
Do you think Saka's performance has anything to do with his chances of being, part of the World Cup? And, it's the World Cup coming up, and, he should be focusing, because his performance will determine whether he'll be in the main 11 or not, or whether he'll be in the England squad. Do you think that has something to play in his mind, or is that a part of the motivation, or is it just like Saka being Saka and suddenly he's picked up form again and now he's just doing what he's doing? What do you think?
I think World Cup will be a factor in every player's mind. Players who are looking to take up that spot. I don't think Saka has that spot for sure, because no one has that apart from Harry Kane in the English attack, right? Even players like Sterling are still a bit like 60-40 when it comes to the starting XI, right? So I'm sure that is a factor for someone like Saka, who would like to take up his place in World Cup, and right the wrongs that happened during the Euros, last time they played. So that will be there on his mind. At the same time, this is also Saka being Saka, right? He started a bit slow, but that was also because of the way we were using Ben White in Arsenal system. And you see over the last 3-4 weeks, Ben White as a right back has matured, and he has started overlapping a lot more. And you see him, getting at the end of assists as well, right? And that has helped Saka come in, play not lot more narrower. So now when I look at the team, the way Arsenal was playing first 4 game weeks, you had Martinelli take up a lot of Jesus position, right? And now I see this, in, sorry, there's a mirror transition, and Saka is taking up those positions.
Right. All right. Right. Okay. So then let's go to the next topic. I think we had a very interesting discussion when it comes to doing Salah to Saka and spreading the cash. And as Sankalp has mentioned, the World Cup is a big factor. Saka being Saka, Arsenal's form being good, Salah having issues, Klopp's formation tweak, when it's going to work. I think that was kind of something that Saif kind of touched upon last week and went into quite a lot of details. He suggested Darwin Nunes. I went for Nunes, and then Nunes turns up to be not playing, which is absolutely fine because I took him. So that's all fine with me. But yeah, let's go to the next one. And Jahangir, I'll come to you on this one. Would you rather have a Pereira or Almiron as your fifth midfielder? Because I think this is a spot where a lot of money can be saved, and there is a lot of value when it comes to these two particular players who are kind of really questioning us as FPL managers as to why the hell are you not choosing me or not picking me, really, just because I'm cheap. Okay, you think I'm cheap? Here is my worth. And they're kind of proving that point time and time again. But again, when it comes to that particular decision, who's the best option? So yeah, over to you, Jahangir.
Okay, first of all, I think price is no more the issue at this season because Salah is not returning points. We are selling Salah. Arnold, Robertson are not an option. In defense, we only have Cancelo as a premium defense option. In forward, we have Haaland as set and forget option. So I think lots of people are having millions in their banks. Like me, I had 3 or 4 millions in my bank, but I don't know where to use it. So the
Where did
only
you
factor
lend?
that I will consider is the points. So they don't have much difference in their points, maybe 1 million or 0.5 million, I'm not sure. But Almiron is definitely the guy I will have my money on, even if Almiron was 6 million, not 5.4 or 5.3. Even if Almiron was 6.5 million, I think I would have gone with Almiron for sure because clearly you can see that Almiron has scored 6 goals. His XG is way higher than Andres Pereira. Even though Andres Pereira has a bit better expected assist, but Almiron also has 1.05 expected assist and all the other stats too. And finally, if I have to summarize, Almiron plays for a better team. They are currently fourth in the Premier League table. Almiron plays as a winger, as a forward, and not just like a forward. He basically plays like the second forward of that team, along with Colin Wilson. They don't have any other forward except Wilson and Almiron. Almiron is the man in form. The goal he has scored last night, he literally uh, all money. I mean, all even though Longlet's career was already ended, but he clearly ended his career once again, along with Sessegnon. So he just dribbled the ball from outside the box, took the ball inside, and also the finish was excellent considering he was against an experienced goalkeeper like Hugo Lloris. So definitely Almiron is the go-to guy here. But if you have a lack of money, then you can also go for Andres Pereira. But the problem with Andres Pereira is that we never know when he's going to return points. For a forward, we can say that this is the fixture when a forward can score goals. But for midfielders, central midfielders, or even central attacking midfielders, we never know. Maybe they will score against Man City, Liverpool, and then they will blank against Nottingham, Bournemouth. But with forwards, with wingers, we can say that we can bet our money for this fixture. So definitely, I will put my money on Almiron.
Yeah, now that was a sort of a pitch that you made is worth clipping if next time Almiron blanks and then put it up on
Yes, and
the.
once another point is that so many people requested me in my page, in my inbox, that just have a look at this guy. This guy is scoring so many goals. Only you can stop him. And even I gave a post. Which player should I destroy now, Almiron or Rashford? And most of the people voted for Almiron. So I might take Almiron now, and he might be destroyed.
Okay, fans, everyone watching FPL managers, stay away from Almiron. Andres Pereira is cheaper, 4.5 or 4.6. And I think you should just stick to Andres Pereira or go above any price point that is at the rate of Almiron's because Jahangir has gone there. So let's not go down that path. Yeah. All right, Saif, over to you for the next section, of course. And of course, which Man United? Of course, you're not a Man United fan, but you are still a very good FPL manager and you kind of make very shrewd decisions and very cool ones with sympathies aside, like you literally slice your heart open, take the sympathies out and just put it aside and then kind of take the decision. So yeah, if that is the case, then which Man United asset would you prefer, Saif? Who's the best option? I'll just bring up the slide. Yeah. There you go. Over to you, Saif.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to point to the top right section. It is the reason as to why we're discussing Man United because it's their fixtures. We have said that we are playing a 3-game week FPL now. So let's see the fixtures. Game week 14, they have West Ham at home. Then they have Aston Villa and Fulham. So 3 very good fixtures. So and also Man United players are really low owned. So the differential picks are there to be considered. I myself have been thinking about which player to pick, but unfortunately, no one I think stands out apart from Rashford in the attack because Anthony has started really well. He scored in the first 3 games, but after that he hasn't scored or assisted any. He doesn't look like assisting any goals because I think. And Bruno Fernandes has come into his own of late. He has been playing really well. He has created a lot of chances, but due to the profligacy of Rashford, I think he has not gotten any assists yet. So Rashford is the interesting one. Sancho I would not go there because he has not shown that much promise. But Rashford is really the interesting one here because he has been playing up front. Ronaldo is, I think, gone now. Because I don't think he would be starting any games anytime soon. He has gone straight to war against Ten Hag. So I think it's a war he won't win. And Marshall is a player I would have really liked to have available, but
Yeah.
unfortunately he is again out. His injuries keep coming back up. But whenever he plays, he really shows great promise. But in the absence of Ronaldo and Martial, Rashford continues to play up front, even though he is a midfielder. He's listed as a midfielder in FPL, so you are getting an OOP player, a midfielder playing as a forward. He has been getting the chances, but the goals have not been coming. So I think you can see 0 goals, 0 assists, but he has been getting the chances. Overall XGI is the highest among the uh, four attacking players we have chosen here. But I think he needs a goal. Once a goal goes in, I think his confidence will be back, and I think he will go on his streak. But I would urge you to wait for the West Ham fixture. Let's see if he can get a goal. I think after that we can bring him in because he's still really moderately owned. 15% is owning him, and after that I would not go for Antonio Sancho because at their price point I think they don't offer as much as the other players at their price point, like the likes of Saka, Martinelli, also Bowen. Madison has been playing well even though their fixtures is turning now, and Bruno is again a bit more pricier. Even though Saka, we can now sell Salah, I would not go for Bruno. This again linked with Rashford. Once Rashford, I think, can uh, start his goal scoring streak, or I think Rashford gets that one goal, then Bruno might be also coming into the picture because I think he will be the one providing the assists. He is playing in the number 10 role, and I think in the absence of Ronaldo, he will also be in penalties. That's there to consider. And another interesting player is Dalot. He is third for penalty area touches in the amongst the defenders for this season so far, I think, and he has been playing really well. He has come into his own this season, and Man United has been really good in the defensive setup. They have the second best defensive stats, I think, alongside or behind Arsenal, behind sorry, Man City and Arsenal. Sorry, so they have been defensively solid. They kept a clean sheet against Tottenham, so I think the clean sheets will come in these fixtures. And Dalot have been really attacking from the right back position. So and also he's really cheap, and also he's owned by only 10%. So if you want to get a defender from a United team, I think Dalot could be the go-to guy. So my order of preference from these five players would be Dalot, then Rashford, then Bruno, and then Antonio Sancho. But I would not like to go there. I think the top three, I think Rashford or Dalot should be good enough. But let's see if Rashford can get one in against West Ham. We can at least hold the transfer before them.
Thanks. Thanks, Saif. Very comprehensively done. But coming to Sankalp on this one, what do you think of Rashford's chances? Because as Saif mentioned, he's not getting the goals. But as a Man United fan, I've been watching the games, and he's there. He looks sharp. He's back to his old self. It's just the goals not coming, or either the goalkeepers are becoming too Superman, let's say, when he's trying to shoot. When do you expect? When do you expect? Based on your experience of watching football over the years, when do you think is the time when a player of this sudden, showing this kind of form, but it's not yet coming really? But when do you think the delivery will happen?
It all depends on who you are selling, right? If you're selling someone who's on form, I would not go there, right? I always try and respect form. If someone is already scoring, I try not to, juggle with that player, right? Player like Rashford, player like Martial, they are very strong form players, right? Once they start scoring, I love it. I know they'll keep on scoring for a few game weeks, right? But I never try to jump early on that bandwagon because I know it takes time, right? So, like you said, Rashford has a good, pro in his choice because he's still getting at the end of all the chances created, right? And the fact that Ronaldo is out of picture, Marcel is injured means any counter attacks which is happening is flowing via Rashford as the end point, which is very good because United are looking good as a team. But the fact that he's still not scored, he's still a bit lower on the confidence, will stop me from going there. I would rather save that transfer and pick it in case he scored. And one more thing is, Moyes has a, especially because this is a home game at Old Trafford, he has a good record of keeping things set, right. And these are not the kind of matches which come into the Rashford factor, right. So I would, if I'm going there, I would wait this week out, see in case he scores. Then the next two games are a bit better because both the new manager that Aston Villa has got, Unai Emery, as well as Fulham, they like to play expensive football at home, and that would play into the factor that Rashford can hit them on counter attacks, right? But this game week, I might not go there. Having said that, of all the assets that I see from United, Diego Dalot is something that's standing out for all the reasons, all the good reasons. If this week I'm picking one, I would pick Diego Dalot.
I have a question to Sankalp. If I have two options, Salah to Rashford or Salah to Almiron, which one would you prefer this week?
So, Newcastle has two home games, and like I said, I respect form a lot, right? You see a guy is already in form, I would respect that. I would go there because they are a good team. They are playing well, and they have two home fixtures. Even if one is against Chelsea, I think they would score. So I would respect that, and I would go there.
Yeah, Zangir. However, I
Salah to
would suggest
Almiron.
you.
Have you ever
Yeah,
thought that we'd be considering this? Salah to Almiron.
yeah. Those two those good FPL days, when Salah was an option. Yeah, Salah to Almiron. My goodness me. Just imagine you saying this in 21-22 FPL season at this point of time last year. People would be laughing at you like, what is wrong with this guy? Probably he's learning the game, a newcomer, and he's just casual who's playing the game. And but now, even the serious players are considering it. But yeah, Janvir, coming back to you, stay away from that Almiron guy. Yeah, poor guy. He's been with Newcastle for a while, and he's now showing a form of his life. So stay away from him. Yeah, just it's good for his health and good for your mental health as well. Yeah, and for many others who have picked him. Right, over to you, Sankalp, for this one. If you have Martinelli and Saka, because you are the Arsenal fan, so we would seek your valuable opinion in this case. Which third option would you choose between Jesus or a goalkeeper and defender?
Ben White, for me, seems like a good pick. Uh, Primarily because I'm trying to take money off the defense and put it into midfield. I would have said Jesus, but again, I have to be unbiased, right? Same rule applies with Jesus as well. Like Rashford, he's getting into the end point of all chances, but he's not scoring. Uh, it would not be a big mistake if you're going there with Jesus, because we are going to face Nottingham at home. I think the three fixtures are decent, and the guy, and he also has World Cup on his mind. But logically, I would rather go Ben White because I think we are looking good from a defensive point of view. I know we consider against Southampton, but there was one of, I think we were playing well at least till the first half. I could not see the entire match. I was traveling. So if I'm going there, I would actually go Ben White, because like I was pointing out at the earlier part of our session today, that he's attacking well now. He's overlapping. He's connecting well with both Saka as well as with some of the midfielders, right? So he's creating good chances now over the last 3-4 weeks. For 4.5, 4.6 million, I think he's a good steal. Like Diego Dalot, I think these are the two good options which are there in front of us. So if you're someone who has a Chilwell, who has a Perisic, right, and these are players who are getting dropped, every other game, right, and you want someone solid, to depend on who you can put in your playing extra. I think both Ben White and Diego Dalot are standout options where I can go. So he would be my third option from Arsenal.
Okay, I think I have no other arguments on this one, and I mean I fully agree with you because I was having a conversation with Parvez the other day, and he decided to go with Ben White, and he was suggesting even in the question and answer session that we were having, and he was telling people Ben White. And I had absolutely no clue about what was happening because I saw Ben White's form in the beginning of the season. He was struggling. And, people were like, oh, center back, why are we wasting 4.5 million and all that stuff. All the conversation kind of, had me influenced, very heavily influenced. And a negative thought was already kind of on my head about Ben White. So when Parvez last week was talking about Ben White, and I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? Why is he suggesting Ben White out of the blue? And then he's like, no, 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 listen, this guy's playing well. I've really seen his stats and he's really attacking. And I think I'm considering him very seriously. I'm like, your head is gone because now you're outside 1 million. So you're planning to actually move outside of 2 millions now. So that's why you are talking like this. I mean, don't be too aggressive. And he's like, no, 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 I'm fully convinced Ben White is the guy. And he took it. And then when I saw like Ben White assist that day, and I was like, okay, hold me. Sorry. So I had to immediately WhatsApp and then say like, okay, maybe you are right. I didn't see Arsenal's Ben White so much. So yeah, thanks for that. But yeah, fully agree with this. Fully agree with this. Right. Okay. Then the last one. Who's the third best defender to own with Cancelo and Trippier? Jangir.
Yeah, I think that's a really tough question. But at this point, I think I would go with Diogo Dalot because we are talking about just 3 weeks and he has three decent fixtures. West Ham, one of them is Aston Villa, and I guess the third one is Fulham. I'm not sure, but all the three fixtures are considerable. Dalot is like a bonus magnet. Uh, even if he does not provide any attacking returns, he somehow returns 3 bonus points. And if he give any goal or assist, then definitely he's gonna give you a double digit. So I think at this moment I would go with Diogo Dalot.
Right. Okay. So I think that solves it. Yeah. And is there anything that stands out that you would like to say about it? Anything that we have missed on this particular topics that we covered that are critical point that needs to be said? Because the next one is all about what I'm going to say. The next topic is all mine. So before I take the floor, I
Okay,
was wondering
I
if
might have a question for Sankalp.
yeah, go ahead.
For the Salah owners who somehow still have their belief on Salah, kept them for the next 3 weeks as we will have a long break. In 3 weeks, Salah will have two home games against Leeds and Southampton. So, do you really think that as we have kept him for so long, should we keep him for the last 3 weeks too, or should we sell him for someone like Almiron, Saka, Rashford, or like someone else?
Okay, so I think you have to look at it as a combination of things, right? Like I said, I did this move last week primarily because I was looking to rejig my squad, and I did Salah to Saka, Bernardo to Foden. That hurt me last game week, and I think Perisic to Cancelo. Right? But overall, I looked at all the three moves. It made sense. It made my team a better team, right? So it depends on what your other move is. If you ask me, Salah on paper looks good enough, right? He's a good member. He's still creating well. I think what I've seen his stats has come down from a XG point of view, but his XA has really increased, right? So he's creating well. The games are good. I think he will give us returns as well. If you still have Salah, he'll give you returns as well. So no issues there. If you do not have any fire to put out, right, and you can comfortably sit out this game week and take a call next game week, right, rather than taking a hit around it. But if you are in middle of couple of moves and the other one is really attractive, right, I would say go for it. Right? For example, someone like KDB, right, we are not talking his name enough, but he's constantly giving returns, right? So that's the kind of moves that make sense to me. A guy who's on form, who's playing, he's playing, and who's giving us returns, right? Those kind of moves, I have no problem. Go for it. But in your mind, it should always be there. Okay, Salah is a person who will give returns, right? It should not be like, we should not get drowned in the noise. Like, okay, he's not giving returns. He's not going to be a good guy just because he's blanked when I captained him, right? So take that point out of your mind. Just know that if you're going out of Salah, it is with a risk. But obviously, with risk, there's a reward philosophy that we are trying to attract, at least for the next 3 weeks.
I think the main message from your whole pitch Sankalp, was if you have no other fires to put off. I think that's a key message right there, and I think most of the people will actually not pick up on that. So yeah, if you have no other issues, you can deal with this particular issue for a -4 or something. But if you have other issues, I think focus somewhere else. Yeah, focus where the fire is, rather than trying to see Salah as a fire and Salah as a problem which needs to be extinguished, I would say. But yeah, when it comes to Salah, I would like to seek somebody else's opinion too. He seems to be a bit, this has been his state anyway over this whole season. He's usually very lively kind of a guy, very talkative, very argumentative, and very, he likes to debate. But since what's happening on the pitch with Liverpool, I mean, yeah, he's been a bit quiet on the. It's all quiet on the Western Front, but I would like to just spark a little bit. So yeah, what do you think, Salah? Saif?
I was really big on Salah this game because Darwin was out. He would be playing centrally. He played centrally, but unfortunately, I think Liverpool as a whole played really bad. They were not only bad in attack; they were exceptionally bad in the defense. They conceded 5 big chances to Nottingham Forest. So the Nottingham
Saib
Forest
bhai, sorry for interrupting. If you said they were bad, I think you were putting too much respect on the team. They were disgusting. They were fourth class, fifth class. They were not bad. Man United last season were bad. Man United this season at the beginning they were bad. But the last game against Nottingham Forest, Liverpool was disgusting in defense.
I think this is worth a clip. This is worth a clip.
So
I promise I will definitely keep this for the long-term memory. Yeah.
even when Liverpool were during the early stages of FSG or the last stages of the Higgs Gillette ownership, we weren't this bad defensively. We only conceded 1 or 2 big chances we used to concede, but we conceded 5 big chances to Nottingham Forest of all teams. So this is how bad we were. So and also I was just poking around the FFC Scouts website, membership tools, members tools sites, and I saw that in the last 4 to 5 game weeks, Liverpool are the worst team defensive wise in terms of XG, in terms of big chances conceded. So you can say how bad we have been. So even then, I would say I would like to hold off for the Leeds game because Leeds have been also bad in defense. So I think it would be a pretty open game. And I think in this time, at least if Darwin comes back, that would help the attack a bit. And also, I think the Thiago's absence was a problem for us. We did not create anything from the midfield. And Thiago is likely to be back in the Champions League game. So I think Thiago will, if he's back, then he will start against Leeds. And Thiago being back will be a huge boost for our attack. So I would give Salah this game week. I myself have him. I captained him this game week. So, but I would not captain him again. But I would keep him for this game week because I think it will be a pretty open game. Leeds won't be as tight as Nottingham Forest were at their back. They won't be defending for their lives. So I think it would be a pretty open game, and I think Salah will have opportunities, and also he's still on penalties. So I think he might return, and I would give him this game. And then if he blanks, I would then move on and spread the cash in my team.
All right. I think you kind of very smoothly allowed me to get into the next topic. And statutory warning for those who are actually still going with Captain Salah. I mean, 2 people who are below my screen right now, still going with Salah captaincy last week. So for those who are following them, and for those who are still finding it hard to believe that there is a new dawn in
Extreme
town.
hypocrisy, Nadim bhai. Extreme hypocrisy.
Yeah.
You are the one who moved my captaincy from Haaland to Salah.
Yeah, but just a gentle reminder that there is a new dawn in town, and there is only one and only captain, that is Haaland. There is no other captain than Haaland. All you should do is focus on Haaland. The focus should be entirely on Haaland. Do not shift away from Haaland. No matter how tempting Salah looks, stick to Haaland. There is no stick. There is only stick, but no twist from Haaland. Do not follow Zahangir and get astray, but stay with Haaland. Haaland is, of course, son of Haaland. Pep's favorite player is Haaland, and he is the only captain option and nothing else. So I think I stop my pitch here about the best captaincy slide. There's nothing else to discuss on this slide. The only thing is, thank you, Jangir, and I would like to recognize that your huge contribution last week kind of paid off. The whole of the FPL community is grateful to you for your enormous contribution. Forever you shall be remembered like a CIA star on the wall, but we will have no names mentioned there. But yeah, deep down, we know who you are and what you did for the community, for the game. Thank you so much. Your treat is pending, and you shall get 2 treats, to be honest, because 2 goals went in. So yeah, it was a brace. So you will get a brace treat as well. So yeah, well done. And I think it was good fun. Thank you so
I
much,
think,
Jahangir.
I also enjoyed this. Actually, nothing on you. I was the one who decided to switch the captaincy for the sake of the people. Even before you talked about the treat, I just switched the captaincy and then I commented that it's done. But I am not going to do this week, and there are
No.
two possible risks about Haaland captaincy this week. I'm saying Haaland is the best captaincy option, just like Nadim Bhai. Everything is true, but two things. One, Haaland is playing the early kickoff match, and two, I am captaining Haaland. The rest is on you.
Okay. So here is this. There is a saying in Bangla, and I think as a kid we all learned this, and or you probably heard this. Is that I don't know if there is a saying in Hindi as well. I don't remember at least, but I'm sure there is because there was. I just can't remember exactly what it is, so I'm not going to mention it. But Sankalp, if you do get a make a sense out of it, please do say the Hindi one as well. There's a saying in Bangla that if you take one gulp of rice, you'll fall into the water. So you should always go for the second one. Like একবার ভাত খাওয়া যাবে না বাবা, পানিতে পড়ে যাবি, আরেকবার নে. I think there is a kahavat also in Hindi, like एक बार नहीं खाते, दूसरी बार ले लो, नहीं तो कुछ ना कुछ हो जाता है, something like that. I just can't remember the exact one. But yeah, Jangir, that is what I would like to draw your attention to. You shouldn't be just doing it once. Maybe for the community, you should be doing it twice. Otherwise, you'll fall into the water. So yeah, suggest that you listen to the parently advice that was given from generations to generations, and maybe perhaps you should reconsider your decision for the greater good and for the sake of the FPL community, of course. So maybe just stay with Salah, and this time you might be rewarded. Leeds, like Sankalp said, Leeds is a good fixture. It's a tempting one, and if you have no fires to put off, I mean, why don't you just go ahead with Salah? You don't have Saif also this week, so it's okay. Saif will do something else. So Jangir, it's your opportunity to do it again. Yeah. Any comments on that, Jangir?
Nadim Bhai, you are a great hypnotizer. I'm thinking about that now. You are a great hypnotizer.
All right. Okay. Thanks. I mean, on that note, so let's go to the questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for sending all the questions. We will be, of course, referring to the zonal weakness and, of course, to the zonal strength. And, of course, Sankalp will be here. He'll be answering most of the questions. But, yeah, thank you so much for all those who send their questions by 11:10. We sincerely appreciate. We'll now go straight into the questions, and we will try to answer most of them live. So, of course, the first one is not a question, but it's a comment. Assalamu alaikum, guys. How are you all? Hope you're doing well. Very busy, but still watching the Ghono show. Thank you so much, Abdul Munim Nihal. Glad to hear and that you are watching the show. And, of course, we do know, of course, of why you are so busy. Wish you all the best, of course. And, yeah, glad, brother, that you continue to support us. And thank you so much for that. Yeah, so the next question comes in from somebody from the community. And of course, when people send questions from the community, is because of the Facebook privacy settings that we cannot see their names. It's basically their Data Protection Act that's kind of preventing it. But anyway, somebody's asking Bailey to Almiron or Zaha to Saka. I'll come to Sankalp with this one. What do you think, Sankalp?
Okay, a bit tricky, right? Because I think Zaha has a good fixture this week. I would say. I think they have a home game against Southampton, right? Also, what we do not know is how Bailey plays under the new coach, right? Does he start? Does he not start? What formation is being used, right? Taking these things into account, I think Bailey to Almiron makes sense to me, right? But at some point of time, I would just like to get rid of Zaha. He's one of those players who you can never predict when and how his returns come. Right? If you have him, you just keep him and you hope that over midterm, over long term, he gives you enough points. So looking at these things into mind, if you have to do one, I would go for a Bailey to Almiron because he's a player in form. They have decent fixtures, 3 weeks to close things. So decent way to go out.
Okay, on that Bailey note, I just want to mention one thing that Unai Emery will be taking the charge after game week 14 because he still didn't get the work visa. So I think the same manager will be managing the next game who managed Bailey this week.
Perfect, perfect. Uh, yeah, so even if I think Gerard does not do it, someone from the assistant coaching staff will do it. I think the idea would be that things remain same at least for this week. But overall, I still feel Crystal Palace fixtures look good for the next 3 weeks, right? So if this is a fire I have to solve, I think Bailey to Almiron makes a good move. But both the transfers make sense to me. I would do it. Say I would do one this week and another one next week, or maybe I would do nothing this week and do both next week, right? So one of these things I would definitely do.
Right. Sorry. Can anybody hear me properly? I can hear you
Yeah,
loud and clear. Can
yeah.
yeah.
Your audio is clear.
Okay. Because my internet is fluctuating, so that's why I switched off the screen immediately. Otherwise, the whole thing might just crash, and then we'll have a bit of an interruption with the show. So yeah, once it's restored, I'll put back my screen. Sorry for that, guys. Yeah, and then there is a message, of course, from Haminu Nahin, and he says, "Good to see Mr. Nanda back again." So, Sankalp people are excited and happy to see you back again. So glad to have you, brother, again. And then, yeah, Jangir, questions to you. Somebody from the communities again. How about Mitrovic to DCL?
Okay, as Sankal previously said that he normally doesn't change the informed players, the guys who are scoring. I'm just want to mention that sentence that yeah, Mitrovic is scoring goals almost in every matches. He's the second top scorer of the league. Let me just check the fixture though. He will play Everton at home. Oh, they will play against each other. So if you want to do this move, I think that would be a very interesting and very, very differential move. I think no one is even thinking about DCL, even though I took DCL in my draft team last week and he scored. But I think this is like a sideways move. You never know. But Mitrovic is the informed guy. He has penalties. We don't even know whether DCL will be taking the penalties any longer because he was out for so long. He is a very injury prone player. He might even go back to injuries before the next match or while the next match is going on. So I would stick to Mitrovic.
Right.
I
Okay.
I
So
would do this. I would do this, but next week, not this week.
Yeah,
Like you
exactly,
mentioned,
exactly. Yeah, because in the next week, Fulham will be playing Man City. So in this week, they have a home game just playing. Then you can decide whether you want to go for DCL or someone else.
yeah, if he plays enough time this week as well, then you know that DCL is back, and then they have Leicester and Bournemouth. Leicester at home, which is very attractive, and Bournemouth away. Then you can make this move, right?
okay, people just seeing one goal and then people are wanting to jump on it, which is a good sign. Look, I like that move. It's just that I stick to the rules that if until unless they are not really firing, and I don't see certain interesting moves or sharp enough, I usually don't go for the player. Right. Okay. So there's a kudos for you, Jangir, and there's a questions for you again. Yeah, yeah. Hide your face. Hide your face. So the question is basically, Jangir, if you are planning to go for Saka this week,
Uh, I
reveal
think
to
I think I gave a public awareness post right after I did the move. Yeah, I already went for Saka. Not I will go for Saka. I already have Saka in my team. I have Saka and Martinelli both. So sorry to Arsenal fans if something happens.
Okay, I can hear Parvez's scream from behind the green room. We can't hear it, but I can literally see Parvez's expression. Like, I'm sure he's trying to break the wall now with his head. Like, why the hell did he go for Saka when he knew Jahangir went for Saka? So there you go. Parvez, don't feel sad about it. Everything will be fine. Okay. Question to you, Saif. Tajdeed Hossain is asking: Martinelli, Zaha, Salah, Almiron, Foden, Haaland, Tony, Firmino, whom to bench?
A tough decision this game because I think almost all of them have good fixtures. So I would not bench Martinelli, Almiron, Zaha, Salah, none of them. I think you can bench Firmino because I think he has been playing quite a lot. So he might be rested soon if Darwin comes back. So Firmino is the one you can bench from here.
Darwin starts Champions League, and you expect him to again start the Liverpool match as well, Leeds. Because if he plays, I think the prospect of both Salah as well as Firmino, increases a bit more because the way Firmino plays.
Right.
Yeah, I think Darwin will play because Liverpool has been really toothless without him. So I expect him to play in both the UCL and then against Leeds.
Any update on Darwin, by the way? I have him anyway. So.
Not yet,
No?
but sorry, there have been updates. Klopp said that he should be back alongside Thiago and Konate for the UCL game. So I think
He will be in the squad, but it's not confirmed whether he will start or not.
but they're back to full fitness. Thiago, Konate, and Darwin.
Okay, I see a lot of people watching, and I see the number of likes is very low. But just want to remind every audience here that there is a festival going on in India from where Sankalp is joining. He has decided to leave aside his festivity and do the show for you. We are preparing slides and staying awake so late night and still trying to bring the best out of it. Jahangir has an exam or something like that, and he has urgent thing to do, and yet he has decided to join. Saif has just finished his office and he's come back. So am I. And all we are asking is your support. Come on, guys, you can do better. You can do better, yeah. Surely you can do better. Come on, don't be conjuice, yaar. Don't be conjuice in pressing that like button and love button. You don't like it, you say it in the comments, and we'll bring it. We don't hide those comments that comes in, as a criticism. We bring it up, we face it, we take it on the chin, and we appreciate that as a feedback. And then we kind of try to address that. But if you have something negative to say it. But if you have nothing and you like the show overall, I can see a lot of comments coming about Sankalp joining, and they're happy to see him. Then do share your expression. Express it through that like button and love button. It's not much we're asking. Yeah. Right. Okay, Sankalp, this is a good question for you. Tajdeed Hossain is asking: Captain Salah for game week 14. Thoughts?
I will not do it personally, right? I like to play the captaincy option a bit safer. Purely look at players on form and attack fixtures, right? So if Salah was a player on form, I would have gone there, but he's also not a player on form, right? So you're backing against a player who's pure on top form, right? Haaland is a guy who's on golden touch, right? And he's playing a defense which I will say is not the best defense. I know they have had clean sheets, but if you look at the XG conceded, it was still 1+1. I think against Wolves it was 1.5 plus, right? So I'll not go against Haaland at least for this game week, right? Again, if you're punty, have a go, but it's a major risk. It's a very strong risk. I think it's a bit early to take those risks along, right? Both Salah and even Kane, I think, against Bournemouth away, will have points to prove. So they are viable options, but this is not the game week I would ideally go for it, right? If Haaland was playing a bit tougher defense idea, maybe I would have taken this. I have done this over the last 2-3 weeks, so it's okay going for it. But this game week feels like a bit more risky than usual.
Okay, Sankalp, another question. Let's say Nadim Bhai finally once again convinced me by hypnotizing to not captain Haaland again. In that case, how do you think Saka or Martinelli as an option?
I would rather go Salah because uh, neither Saka or Martinelli are strong and return options, right? Either of them can be assisting each other, right? It's very difficult to know in Arsenal system who ends up at the end of things and scores a goal, right? So if you're actually going for someone apart from Haaland, it has to be between those Salah and Kane as players. These are the players that I trust with my captaincy option. So when I did the analysis of my last season, that's one thing that I found was I kept my captaincy option limited to top 4 or 5 players, unlike people who kept playing around, right? So uh, the only way I'm going to go against the popular captaincy option is by backing another premium player who I trust more to score. So it has to be between Salah and Kane, at least for me, if you're going out of Haaland.
Right. So the zonal weakness here shows that Leeds have conceded 16 chances from the left side, where Salah will be playing, and he's ranked second. I mean, in terms of Leeds being worst in terms of second worst team, whereas the option that you mentioned, oh God, but it's Saka. I know Jahangir has taken. So no matter how worse they are, apparently we all know what the outcome is. Apparently, Nottingham Forest have conceded 18 chances from the left-hand side over the last 4 matches, and they are ranked the worst side to concede the most number of chances here. So yeah, Saka plays against a team that is the worst when it comes to the left side, and Salah plays Leeds, who is second worst when it comes to this side. So interesting shout, of course. And if you trust the zonal metrics, please do go ahead. And if it doesn't really work, it's not the fault of zonal metrics. You know who else was captaining, and you can always blame him, not the zonal metrics. Yeah, right. Okay, and there you go. And somebody says from Facebook, from the community, that Zangir has already taken Saka. So there you go. And then he's Hamim9 says, I'm quite upset with Jesus. Keep us sell. Zangir, I'll come to you for this question.
I think I will say to keep Jesus, because I have noticed, even I've said this previously, that Jesus plays extremely well in the home matches rather than the away matches, and this is a home game against Nottingham Forest. Why would you sell someone like Jesus against Nottingham Forest in a home match? I think the you have to give him another chance.
Okay. Guys, if you're watching and if you're liking what we're answering, and if you like the show, and if you have Sankalp here, and if you enjoy what he's saying, or you like our face, or you don't like our face, you don't like my Haaland pitch all the time being repeatedly, I said all this. So please do press the like button. That would be great, and we would appreciate all the support that comes from you. Thank you so much for that. Then play Dallo or White? Saif, I'll come to you with this one.
I would play White in this game week because Arsenal are pretty strong at home, and they're playing Nottingham Forest. Even though Nottingham Forest has been playing well, but they are, I think, still set on defending, and also at Arsenal away they will be happy with the point. So I don't think they would attack that much. So White is the safer choice this game week. And Dalot might consider it in West Ham because West Ham has been playing really well. So White would be the pick for me.
Okay. Good one. Then Haminu9 says, Sankalp, Zaha, Tony, Andres, Dallo, play 2 of them out of the 4. Which 2 would you go for?
I think I would go for Zaha and Tony, right? The attacking players. Dallo comes a close second for me, but then I think Tony plays against Wolves at home. Very difficult to leave out your striker when the other team is conceding goals for fun as well, right? So Zaha and Tony, just back the premium players that you have picked up for your team.
Okay, so there is a message for you here, Sankalp. Hello everyone, great to see you, brother Sankalp. Had a tough day at St. Mary's, but still top. Come on, you Gunners. Tanvir Latif Bhai, you turned out to be a Chupa Rastam. All this time I was thinking you were something else, and now you turn out to be a Gunners fan, eh? Okay, Chupa Rustam nikla yaar. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, okay. Next time I will. Something goes wrong with Arsenal. I know whom to make a reference. Yeah. Besides Sankalp and Nighthawk, and there is one in our group called Bappi Bhai, and he's been an Arsenal fan since I was born, I think, and he's been there. And every year he asks us the same question. He's like, "Will Arsenal finish top four and above Manchester United?" And my answer remains forever the same. But last year he managed to finally do it, and he was having the last laugh. Whereas for me, it was a bit of a take it on the chin. But this year he's asked again, and I'm finding it difficult to answer. Although I find Manchester United fan a bit more, I mean, firm, a bit more better than last season. But Arsenal is in at a different level right now. So yeah, maybe it's his turn. So yeah, Tanvir Latif Bhai, when the form comes down, I think I know whom to make a reference. Yeah. Okay. Great. Maruf Muqtadir Khan says hello. And then Shian Naim asks this question. Zangir, I'll ask you this one. Guehi ke ki khelano thik hobe? Eke Estupian beche Tomiyasu White nibo.
I am not convinced with the Palace defense. So if you have the option to bring in Tomiyasu or White, especially White, in a free transfer, I would suggest you to do that and play White.
Right. Thanks. Thanks. Then again, a message comes from Shan Ahmed. Again, people just love to have you, Sankalp. So it's great to see. And this is just my opportunity of saying that, this is not your last one again. You're going to come back many times. We're probably going to have you as a more frequent visitor. We'll take the special guest out and we'll just have you as a guest, the special word is no more because you are so familiar with the boys and everybody likes your opinion anyway. So
More
yeah,
than happy to be part of it. Thank you so much.
thanks, Safbal. Right. So Shan Ahmed says, hello, Sankalp Nanda, brother. I hope you're fine. Your overall rank, brother. What's the situation with your overall rank?
I've actually not seen my rank, post this game week because I was traveling. I've just not checked it out, but it was somewhere around 1.5 million. Not doing great start wise, but I'm looking at the gap from top 10K. I think as long as it is around 100, I know I can, cover that because I play differential from a team point of view. I keep my captaincy simple, but I play differential. That's how I cover gaps. So still fairly young days. That's how I'm telling myself, but that's where I stand currently.
It is true. It is very young days. I mean, it's just gimmick 14 and we have till gimmick 38. So your overall rank at this moment really doesn't really matter. What matters is how motivated you are to, continue the game and, play the game in the right way and pick the right players and, stick to your decisions, stick to your strategy, and then you can still reach it. And I remember last year at the same point, that's when I noticed you first time. Is you were somewhere in the similar zone, I think, or slightly below this, somewhere around like 800,000 or 500,000, I think, around this point of time.
Yeah.
But look, end of the season, you are in 300 and something like that. I am so yeah. I mean, it's a marathon. So yeah, it's all fine. Right. Okay. Then Mahmoud Munim is asking, Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam, brother. And then a question directly comes to you, Sankalp. So I'll have to pass this on to you. Hamimnun 9 says, questions to Mr. Nanda. What is your overall points and how are you happy with your current rank? Also, where would you like to see yourself at the World Cup break? I think the first part of your question has already been answered. So let's go and stick to the second part of the question is where would you like to see yourself at the World Cup break?
The plan is to cover the gap from top 10K as much as possible. Maybe reduce the gap by 20-25 points, right? And then World Cup gives you a chance to reject. That's how I'm looking at. I was able to cut down the gap fairly well, but I think last two game weeks again it has gone up a bit. So purely looking at that number, my target for this season is top 10K. That's how I'm coming into it. Last year it was top 20K. This year I'm like, okay, I've done one top 500. I should be a bit more ambitious with my targets, and that's the reason I've kept top 10K as a target. And the gap I want to reduce by another 20-25 points, and then rejig when I have a wild card with me, right? Something that I would again like to point out, like like Nadeem said, uh, it's important that you play the game, confidently with your full focus for the entire season, right? That creates a difference. I've seen a lot of people. My own case last year, I was around 800K till game week 9 or 10, and I was able to get into top 500 beyond my wildest dreams. Primarily because I was motivated, I kept on, going with it, and I was very I was very positive with the entire thing, right? So your mentality matters because like the players that you choose, right? We always try and choose top mentality players, players who will give us points. That's always the focus, but it also matters how you are, because your decision making is going to determine whether who you're going to bench, who you're going to sell, whether you're going to make any short term, mid term, long term strategies, right? So you also need to focus a bit on yourself, right? And take good decisions, take solid decisions, right? Take less and less of hopeful decisions, right? And more of decisions based on some logic, some gut feeling which you have taken on seeing this game, and continue doing that over 38 weeks, because that's where you will see the difference, right? So one thing that was my takeaway from last season was how long I played the game well, right? Not one game week or 2 game weeks, but how long, how consistent I could do it. So stick to that process and stick to that consistency. Trust the process, like Arteta used to say.
Trust the process. Okay. All or nothing, right?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. Okay. Um, yeah, I'm just waiting for a Liverpool documentary. Unfortunately, it's not coming. Yeah. But yeah, probably the end of era would be the name of the documentary for somebody. Shen Naim is asking Parvez Bhai or Ashfaq Bhai koi. Shen Naim Bhai, Parvez is behind the scene. He's doing all the hard work, as you can see. And he's done all the hard work again, and he continues to do so. So he's there today behind the scene. And Ashfaq, of course, as I said earlier, that his mother is sick, and he has requested us to make a special shout out to mention everyone that his mother is sick and she's in need for our prayers. So let us all think for a while, and of course pray for Ashfaq's mother and wish her for a speedy recovery. So yeah, Shianai, that's that. But thank you so much for asking, Shianai. It's really good that we are slowly starting. I mean, it's been 3 years since we started, and we still feel we are a very small kind of a page. Not somebody who has millions and millions of followers and millions of viewers, like the popular ones are on YouTube and others at the international level. But we start to feel that that close knit bonding and the family relationship is slowly building. There's a bit more trust, there's a bit more openness, and there's a bit more understanding. And I think that's what matters. It's good to have two good friends rather than have 20 useless friends, yeah, as some wise man said. So I'm happy that people like you are there, who's always looking out for people like us. Thank you so much, Shianai Bhai, for that. Right. Saif, question to you. Majidul Rahman is asking off-topic, Professor Bhai. Oh no, this is a question for him. Sorry, Saif, you can go back to what the analysis you are doing on your Scout membership. But for Jahangir, this is a topic off-topic, Professor Bhai. আপনার পেজে অনেক টক্সিক পোস্ট দেখতে পাই যেগুলো ভালো লাগে না. What do you about?
I think it's all related to football. যেগুলা বার্সেলোনার এগেইনস্টে যায় বার্সা ফ্যানদের ভালো লাগে না, যেগুলা ইউনাইটেডের এগেইনস্টে যায় তাদের ভালো লাগে না, বাট রাইভালদের খুবই ভালো লাগে. So I can't do anything about that. I have admins. I think from all the football clubs except Man United. So I have Barcelona admins, Real Madrid admins. I myself is a Liverpool admin. I have Man City fan who's an admin. So many admins post many of their clubs or many stats, many things. So you just can't stop it. If you don't like it, just ignore it. That's the best thing.
Yeah, that's true. Football is a game of spirits. Take it and leave it. Enjoy the fun.
Just so you know, if you think I am doing some partiality, all the Liverpool trolls, all the trolls about Alexander Arnold, all the trolls about Jurgen Klopp was done by me. So I'm not doing any kind of partiality. I was the one who was criticizing Arnold's defending, Jurgen Klopp's management, or everything about Liverpool. So I'm taking this. So if you don't like it, just ignore it. I think that's the best part of it.
Saif, what are you up to really? Your timing seems to be impeccable today. I swear on God, I think even Sankalp noticed it and he was smiling as well. The moment Janvi said, I'm not partial, all the Liverpool and then your screen goes off, tuck, it goes like them. Exactly. I swear on God, if you have a look at the video again, play it back at this moment. It's 1 hour, 15 minutes, 48 seconds. Just play it back. The moment he says, I'm not partial, and all the Liverpool and your screen goes off. And then the moment he says, it's like, yeah, so that's that. And then, you're back again. It's like, पर्दे में रहने दो पर्दा ना उठाओ, it's, I don't understand. I mean, so yeah, your timing is impeccable, brother. It's like yesterday's Virat Kohli 6, yesterday or day before yesterday's, yeah.
This is just a good sync between the Liverpool fans.
Yeah. Okay. You can twist it that way, but yeah, good one.
I expect him to go on a rant, so
Okay. All right. Shana Ahmed is asking one free tier transfer. I don't know why I read always, and this is me being dyslexic, probably. FTIC and I read it as free hit. I don't know why. I just can't tell my brain to read it as free transfer. Okay, one free transfer left. Bowen to Saka or Mitro to Kane for the next 3 game weeks. Over to you, Sai, for this one.
I think Bowen to Saka is the better move here. Mitro to Kane would take a lot of fun from your team, and I think you would be finding it hard to make other moves. But Bowen to Saka, I think, is a equal priced kind of move, and I think it has much more higher potential than the other move because Mitro has been bringing in the goals. And I think if you want to transfer out Mitro, you can transfer him out for other players at his price point. Like Skamaka is one; they have good fixtures, so you can shift Bowen to Saka for in this game week, then Mitro to Skamaka. Then after this game week, then you can have the West Ham good fixtures, one attacker from West Ham, and then you can also have Saka. So I would suggest you to do Bowen to Saka.
I mean, what kind of money are you sitting with if you can do Mitro to Kane with one free transfer?
Yeah, I was asking about that.
I think he did Salah to mid-budget midfielder last week.
Salah to Almiron, I think.
Yeah, Salah to Almiron kind of a move. He's done it
He is
already.
now flush with money.
Okay, that's basically Breaking Bad. Mr. White, doesn't know where to keep his cash. So yeah, that's that. All right. Okay, so the next one question comes to you, of course, Sankalp. As an Arsenal fan, which 2-3 FPL asset will you recommend again? I mean, this was part of the hot topic, but if you can repeat.
Saka, Martinelli, and White. I think those are the top 3 assets for me. Right, Saka and Martinelli are the first 2 priority options. Both are, in attack, and I think Arsenal attack still is cheaper. Price wise, the value they bring is still very good to the team. So you can go there, and if there is a space for the third asset, I think Ben White makes sense. Again, price point of view is just 4.5 million. And I think fixtures look good as well in the next 3. I think we might do 1 to 2 clean sheets most probably. So those are the top 3 choices from my side.
Right. Okay, so there is a comment here between 2 people chatting in the comment. Naim Circus says, hello, fraud. Yeah, it's probably about Salah, right? Or I don't know who he's referring to. But anyway, Naim Circus says, only for Game Week 14, Ward plus Bowen or Ramsdale plus Mount, 8 million midfielder, -4 only for Game Week 14. Jangir, what do you think?
Only for Game Week 14, Ward plus Bowen or Ramsdale plus Mount. Oh my God. Bowen, Mount, both seems fraud. I think I wouldn't do Bowen to Mount with minus. Also, Ward is doing good, even though he's facing City. Maybe you can just change your goalkeeper and keep Bowen, or even if you transfer out Bowen, maybe go for someone like. I mean, there are lots of options: Saka, Martinelli, Zaha, Foden. Then you have Almiron. Then you have Rashford. So I can give you more than 5 options, maybe at least 1 or 2 whom you don't have in your team. So I wouldn't suggest Mount if you want to do both the transfers. if you want to transfer out Bowen, go for someone else.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, there's chit chat again going on between two friends there, and some sort of reactions. I don't know which player they're referring to. It would have been nice if we could have got the reference of the player. We could have also made a bit of fun about it. But anyway, Maruf Muqtadir Khan then comes up. I mean, long questions means it's always safe, right? That's been the trend anyway. So Maruf Muqtadir Khan, spot on, brother, with your impeccable timing of sending a long question. So congratulations to you. My team, Ward, Raya, Cancelo, Trippier, Shah, Anderson, Sufal, Foden, Salah, Zaha, Martinelli, Andres, Haaland, Mitrovic, Tony. One free transfer. I was about again reading as one free hit. Sorry. What should I do?
It's not his impeccable sense of time, it's your impeccable sense of time. But I get the long questions, I think.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I'm biased in this case. Safe.
Anyway, I don't mind. So I think your team is pretty fine for the next game week because you can easily play all your 5 midfielders, but you can bench Andreas, then play the 3 forwards. So 4-3 is there, and then I think you can play the double Newcastle defense against Aston Villa. They have been pretty good. They are playing at home, and Raya also has Wolves. Wolves have been attacking wise really poor. They attacked they had a lot of chances against Leicester, but they could not finish. Diego Costa, I think, is still not fully match fit. So you can play Raya. So I think Cancelo, Trippier, Shah, you can play these 3, and then bench Andreas and play all the midfield and attack. Then you can save the FT for the next game.
Thanks. Again, bit of fluctuation with my internet. Sorry for that. And then again, two friends continue to have their chit chat about Ward will concede, and they're in trouble because they listen to somebody's advice, and then there is a free week and some sort of semi-finals going on. So all that comments is going on. Very good. Keep it up, Naim Sarkar and Shahan Ahmed. Thank you, brother, for the lovely comments, of course. Mahmoud Munim is asking Salah ke niye ki korbo bolen. Basically, he's asking what to do with Salah. So I'll ask you this question, Sankalp. What to do with Salah?
Hold. In my case, I would say still hold for one more week. Just pause it out and see how things work out. But like I said earlier, if you have 2 transfers in mind, say you are setting somehow with 2 free transfers, then it depends on how the combination plays out. If it's just one transfer, say you are looking as purely as a Salah to Saka one, this week, you can hold it. It goes either way. You can hold it, but the good thing is look for players who over 3 weeks gives you good return, right? Even if Salah gives you decent return this week, I don't think you lose out a lot if you're going somewhere like Saka or Foden. I think these are decent options over 3 game weeks, right? But purely 1 game week option, I think you can just set it out, watch for another game week and see how things play out.
Right. Okay. Oh God, what did I do? Just 1 second. Yeah. So there is a prayers coming in from our Ashfaq. Thank you, Mahmoud Munim, for all the support. Inshallah, everything will be fine. Thank you, brother. And inshallah, of course, Auntie will be fine from Shia 9. We'll definitely convey these messages, brothers, to Ashfaq. Thank you so much for that. Then Shahan Ahmed is asking, Zangir, Salah to Saka or Mitchu to Kane? Fulham's fix not good, by the way.
If you want to do one transfer, I would suggest Mitro to Kane, considering Kane is playing Bournemouth. Also, Salah has Leeds at home. So if you can do Mitro to Kane in one transfer, I think that's a good transfer. In the next week, then you might do Salah to someone, as Salah will be playing Tottenham.
Okay, the next comment, I'm not going to really, I'm going to bring it up, but I'm not going to really read it because it has a particular language where I have to use the word toot just to censor it out. But yeah, Shahan Ahmed Bowen will be toot, and then Saka goal there, but Madison Almiron better option. Yeah, thanks, brothers. You two are really keeping it on there in the chat, which is great to see. And Nahid Al Shujan is asking, Saif, question to you, Martinelli or Saka একসাথে খেলানো কি বেশি রিস্কি হয়ে যায়?
I don't think so because they start together. I think they are playing for a great, good team on form, and their attacking stats are really good. So I think the double up is really a strong play, and also risky comes when you are developing defense, not on developing attack, because it's not like you concede a goal and the clean sheet is gone for all the players, but you can easily have points from both the players when you're playing doubling up on attacks. So I don't think it's a risky move. I think it's rather is a really strong move. And also, as Sankalp mentioned, I think these two are the first two picks from Arsenal. Then you can go for either Jesus or someone like White.
I think the only risk between playing Martinelli and Saka together is that I am playing both of them together. Other than that, they don't have any other risk.
All right. Okay. So this is a comment, of course, but Sankal, what's your view about this particular point? Because even I noticed it and I was like, oh God. I had Bowen and I transferred him out last week, and then I saw West Ham getting a penalty after Bowen was subbed, and I saw Benrahma finishing it, of course, very nicely. But do you think Bowen will now be removed and not asked to take a penalty, considering what is the situation, or do you think
he
I
already cleared
saw,
it?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
saw
already
some
said
comments.
even if he was in the pitch, he wouldn't have taken the penalty. So he is off the penalties. Just see
Right.
Nadim Bhai, you have saved a guy's career. Just like me, Nadim Bhai is also a fraud who just ended Madison's career almost, and then he ended Bowen's career almost. Now he has transferred out Bowen, and the guy is safe. He is no longer will be missing penalties. So me and Nadim Bhai are just same jinx person. Just I am captaining Haaland, and I am the one who's being blamed. But Nadim Bhai is also a fraud and jinx like me.
You seem to be tagging along with Ashfaq these days. Too much friendship with Ashfaq is not good for your health. I can tell you that, Jangir. All I can say is with Bowen, when it comes, yes, I definitely finished Madison's career. The moment I took it after his 18 points, things went downhill, and we all know how it happened. 3-game weeks, 3 yellow cards, and then he got suspended. Well done to Madison, and well done to me for being able to be so powerful to finish somebody's career like that. But when it comes to Bowen now, I wasn't the jinx guy. I actually got his 14 points and the 7 points, and I think last week I was the unlucky one. So yeah, and you often see this meme on Twitter and on Facebook where the one Spider-Man is pointing at another Spider-Man, and another Spider-Man is pointing at another Spider-Man, right? Yeah, that one. Yeah, and then this is what I see, and it's like I'm like, hold on a second, what? Oh, who's this guy? Jurua or what? I don't know. I mean, Sankalp Nanda is commenting, not a great start to the season, hovering around 1.5 million. Gap is less, so target still remains high, looking to make things better before the World Cup. I was reading this comment and I was like, hold on a second. That reminded me of that meme straight away. I swear on God, yeah. But yeah. Thanks, Sankalp, for commenting, of course. And of course, Shahan Rahman says best of luck. Yeah, over to you with this one, Sankalp, for this. Out of Salah, Mitrovic, and Antony and Kane, need your suggestion.
Salah to Anthony, I will not recommend. I'm still not convinced because he's while Anthony is scoring and he's looking to score also, he's not exactly connecting with the rest of the team. So it's all down to whether he scores or not, right? So bit difficult to predict that. I would definitely recommend Mitrovic to Kane because of the fixtures. I think Mitrovic has City and United, two of the next three, right? Again, you need not do it this week. You can do it next week as well by saving a transfer. But if you're doing one, I would go for Kane. I have Kane in my team. He's again like Mitrovic. He's continuously scoring. He's a guy on form. So you go from a guy on form to a guy on form. That again softens the blow. Right?
Yeah, I think softening the blow is a very good point there. Yeah, no, I mean, I tried to soften my blow by taking medicine, and I know what happened. Yeah.
I mean, it's all about timing when it comes to medicine, right?
Yeah.
And we keep nudging you to do it at the safe time, but
I'm just wrong time, I mean, to be. But I did get Madison's. I mean, the jinx was broken in, I think, game week 4 or 5 when we had you on the show. And then after that, based on your recommendations, I went with Madison and I got Madison points, which was great. But after that, Madison's fixture looked tough, playing by the fixtures. I sent him out. Then I wasn't thinking of bringing him back again until Parvez told me, Madison is on form. And I looked at his game and I was like, okay, I'll bring him next week. And then Parvez is like, no, I'm doing the captaincy this week. And he's like, okay, good luck with that one because I'm going with Haaland anyway. And then Haaland goes and Parvez is like, I'm finished. And then Madison does wonders by scoring 18 points. And I'm like, no, I'm convinced now I need to bring in Madison. And I saw your comment as well, on Facebook as well, you asking, when am I going to bring Madison? That was exactly when I read, I was like, yeah, Sankalp is right. I should have brought Madison in. And I brought Madison in and the rest is history, 3 yellow cards and 1 point and suspension. Yeah, good. So yeah, Mahmoud Munim is asking, Man United have 11 Wilfred Zahas, never getting trapped again. I would disagree with that. Not that I would say that they're not, but I would to an extent disagree with that. I would suggest go with them when you see somebody is really on a hot streak. Yeah, do not go with them by the lightning and जो गरजे वो बरसे नहीं. That's the thing, saying as it says, when there is too much thundering, there's hardly any rain. So when it rains, go with that. That is the moment to take your umbrella out. Yeah, that's the moment to go with Manchester United players, as Saif has also mentioned. So Mohammad Sajjad is asking, pick Dalot for Game Week 14 and sell Nico Williams. So please say if I make a blunder. Jangir?
I think this is a good transfer. I think this is a good transfer. I mean, yeah, Neko gave some points, but these are not the points that we got because no one would actually play him against Liverpool or in the next game if he has Arsenal. Then you might play him in the Brentford or Palace game and he might not give you clean sheets. But I think Dalot is a better and safer option with clean sheets, attacking returns and bonus points.
Right. Okay. Thanks. Big question to you, by the way, Jahangir. Do you have Dalot or do you have Nico Williams?
I don't have Dalot. I don't have any United asset. I have Neko, but I'm not playing him. I'm playing Guehi.
Okay, then I would suggest Mr. Sajjad that don't sell Neko Williams. Just play him. Don't go for Dalot. Yeah, Jahangir is not going to play him. That's the biggest FPL crystal ball that we have. So
yeah, I have 2 players that will be playing against Neko. I have Martinelli and actually 3. I have Ramsdale too. So I have 3 Arsenal players who are playing in my team, and Neko is definitely playing against them. So
Neko is definitely scoring this game.
Yeah, probably. Okay, Shamsjev Siam Bhai is here. Basically, if you don't know who this guy is, he's the gangster who was on our show last couple of weeks back. Good to see you, brother. Isn't Martial supposed to be back in this game week or next? Man United discussion slide, you said Martial is again injured at side by. Is his injury extended? Saif, over to you with this one.
When I said Martial is again injured, I was referring to the injury he currently has. So already this season he has had 3 different injury problems. So he is really injury prone. So I was referring to that, but I saw the question earlier and I went to check if there has been any update. The last update from Erik ten Hag was before the Chelsea game when he said that Martial would not be available for the Chelsea game. Then I checked the Man United Twitter page and they mentioned 3 guys are back in full training. I think Harry Maguire, Ben de Beek and someone else, one visit I think. So Martial is not yet back in full training, so I don't think he will be back in the team or back starting the next game week, even if he's fully fit. So after that, I think we'll know whether he will be back or not. Until then, I think Rashford should be safe today.
Right. I think this is a dilemma that a lot of managers got caught. I think Late Riser is a big fan of Martial. He was making a lot of tweets about with the glove sign. And then eventually he went around, and of course Martial went and scored 1 goal with the penalty and stuff. But then he got injured.
I really wish Martial was fit because
yeah,
he is someone we could have all taken a punt on this because the Man United fixtures are really good. And he was also in great form. Whenever he plays, he scored, but unfortunately, he is still not fit.
The funny thing is I fully agree with you in this. I was so excited by Martial, to be honest. I was like looking at that game, the game he was playing, and then I was about to like, oh my God, this guy is looking on form. And, with Letriser's tweet and, the previous game's performance and the present game that I was watching. And then I was like, oh boy, he has to be. And I was immediately WhatsApping again with Parvez. And then we were like, Martial. And 30 minutes gone into the game and Martial is then substituted because he's injured. Thank God I didn't press the save button, transfer in and save button. Otherwise, I would have just wasted a transfer.
Just
So, yeah.
by considering a player who ended his career.
There you go. See, people tend to just judge me by the fact that I shared my thoughts. I mean, that's not fair. That's not fair. Really, no, that's not fair. Just by thinking that I ended somebody's career, no.
I was also considering Martial at that point, but unfortunately, you thought about.
No, I mean, to be honest, we were also looking at if we get in Martial, what are the advantages we are going to have. Martial was loaned, and there was a lot of money that was being saved because we were going from Jesus to Martial. So you could save around 2 million around, and with that 2 million, you could really immediately move to Foden at that week. Yeah, and that moment you had seen that Foden was just coming into form. He was already starting to score quite a number of goals in that week. So had Martial been fit, my rank would have been looking slightly different. Because my transfer idea was Martial and then get in Foden by transferring out Andreas Pereira. Yeah. Martial didn't. And then I got stuck with Andreas. And then I had to transfer out Jesus and then went with Mitrovic. And Mitrovic turned out to be Mitrovic, who decided, you saw that meme on Twitter, right? That penguin one with Mitrovic face one. Yeah, Pingu one. No, I will not do that. And
I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this now.
Yeah, I'm not doing this now. So that's exactly. I mean, very appreciating of FPL Marcin, of course. If you haven't followed him on Twitter, please do follow him. He's a
He's the main
great.
guy.
Yeah, he's the great meme guy on Twitter. So all about FPL, of course. Wazid Al Razi is saying, is it okay to sell Salah and Mitro, Tony, and bring Kane and Almiron? Sankalp?
Yeah, as this combination looks good for me. I don't think you will lose out a lot over 3 weeks.
Okay. So we're nearly towards the end of our questions. We've just a couple of left, and then we will see if there's any of the relevant questions, and we can just answer them in one word. That is that. Shamzawai, yes, Sankalp, first rule of fantasy, form is everything, class doesn't matter. Was my cover in Twitter for years. So yeah, there you go.
Love this comment.
Yeah, it is. Form is everything. Class doesn't matter, really. I mean, in FPL, that is the rule. You don't. I mean, if you go by class, Kante is a classic player.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, if Maguire keeps 5 clean sheets in a row, he scores in 2 of them. We are all gonna take Maguire in, so it doesn't matter. Just the points matters. Now we're selling Salah for Almiron, so only the form matters.
Yeah, the funny thing is, and I remember in Game Week 5, there was in one of our slide, we had Xhaka from Arsenal mentioned as an option. Yeah, and there were some people in the comment who were making jokes about us because we often tend to say like, don't go for the defensive midfielders, those who play the pivot role. Don't go for those kind of players. But we saw Xhaka was kind of pretty advanced, already scored a couple of goals or assists, and he looked like he was going to play there. And that is a formation that seems to Arsenal seems to stick. Arteta seems to like it, and somehow we felt. I mean, not judging by the game, but looking at the game, it came across to me at least that Xhaka got that bit of a free role to move forward and bombard forward, and occupy those white spaces and those free spaces and take opportunities as and when it comes and falls for him. So we were like, okay, let's put Xhaka in as an option. And some people were literally making jokes about it, like in the comments, like, what is wrong with you guys? You guys say don't go for defensive mid, and now Shaka as an option with the steery kind of emoji out. And we were like, okay, maybe we did the wrong thing. Maybe we over understood our football thing. Let's not do that again. But that is the truth. I mean, if you go by this particular comment as to why I was making the reference, Shaka has still been doing well, and we are not looking at his form. We are looking at the class. You see, so this particular statement is so correct when Shams Bhai says it. Form is everything. Class doesn't matter. We probably definitely means that you just need to twist your thinking a little bit when it comes to FPL and have a look at it differently rather than just looking at it from a very footballing point of view. Yeah, yeah. Anything to add about this, Sankalp?
I would just add one line is I think the perfect combination is when you see form and class together, right? So always look out for those kind of options, right? When you see, someone like KDB coming out and you see he's lowly owned, but he's a classy player, he's on form, go for such options. Like someone like Kane, he's continuously scoring, right? But he's still a bit low owned. Go for
Yeah,
such options, right? So try to marry those two if possible. If not, I respect form a lot in my decision making.
yeah. Okay. All right. So this one for you, suggested defender, was it Al Razi? By is asking, Sankalp?
Yeah,
And
like we spoke earlier.
options, by the way. Sorry.
Okay, like we spoke earlier, I think Dallo and White are the two best options, if you ask me. So I think he has Cancelo, Trippier. The other three are not looking very strong. So you need to move one out, perhaps Guehi, and either Dallo or White. I am okay with both as options. Makes sense. Dallo is a bit more attacking in nature, but I feel White might give you one more clean sheet, maybe over the next three.
Okay. So this is the last question that came in at the slotted time that we have given on the scroll below. Mahmoud Munim is asking Perisic to who with a -8. But after this, there are just few questions which we will answer it in one word. Please don't go into explanation as to why you think this is a good shout. Just mention whatever it is, and that's it. We'll be done with that. But please answer this question in details when you can. Mahmoud Munimba is asking Perisic to who with a -8. Jangir?
I think I would suggest you to watch the UCL first. If Perisic is benched in UCL, then there is a high chance that he will start in Premier League and they will play against Bournemouth. So I would suggest to keep Perisic. But if Perisic starts and plays more than 70 minutes or full time, in that case, maybe I can suggest Diego Dalot. But still, I'm not sure whether it will cover up the minus hit. So if you go, I think it should be Diego Dalot. But first, see whether Perisic plays in the UCL or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
And sorry, just want to add, we have one very good Spurs journalist called Paul O'Keefe on Twitter. So just follow
yeah.
him. He puts on his predictions, and more or less, I find him spot on. So in
Yeah.
case he has Perisic starting, obviously, you need to keep him for another week.
Yeah, the first time he was predicting this line, and everybody on Twitter, at least FPL Twitter, was like, "Who's this Paul O'Keefe?" And I remember that joke. And I think we were Saif and myself, we were interacting on Twitter itself about this as well. So it was pretty funny. Okay, so like now to one-word answers only. Mazadul Rahman is asking mid Bowen, Bailey, Martinelli, Zaha, Mount forward, Tony, Haaland, Kane, one free transfer, not free hit. Whom should I replace?
Is it my turn?
Yeah,
Oh,
Saif.
sorry. I would do Mount to Saka.
Okay, all right. And then this is a very remarkable and very famous one. I just don't have the black and white. I think this meme needs to be saved. Yeah, I think this should be part of our slide every time we remind people that this is what Mahatma Gandhi said. Um, just imagine in real life if Mahatma Gandhi was alive and he would have seen this kind of things being said about him. I mean, 2nd of October just passed, so yeah, I understand. But yeah, this is a remarkable one. This is a remarkable one. Thanks, Shan Ahmed brother. Thanks. Then Maruf Muqtadi says Haaland early kickoff, Jahangir by capping him, and Lister is going so good in defense in last matches. So yeah, there you go. Thanks, Maruf Muqtadir. We appreciate that. And then Mohammad Ryan says Tony Nibo, Greenwood বাদ দিয়া নাকি Salah বাদ দিয়ে Son নিব? Sorry, this question will be for Sankalp, so I'll have to read it in English. Tony out, Greenwood in. No, sorry, Greenwood out, Tony in, or Salah out and Son in.
Okay. I don't think Salah to Son makes sense, primarily because I think Spurs are still a bit dilly-dally, and Son has been very inconsistent in his returns, right? Greenwood to Tony, I'm still 50-50. I think for this week it makes sense, but again, Brentford are also not very strong or very consistent in the way they are returning. Still, of these two options, I would say Greenwood to Tony makes more sense.
Yeah. Okay. Is Brentford playing home or away?
This week, I think they're playing home to Wolves.
Wolves home.
Okay, because Brentford seems to be, two sides of the coin, or two opposite sides of the coin, to be honest. They are completely different when it comes to home form, as we have shown in our double-digit conceded chart. But when it comes to away form, we have seen it last week, 4-0, unexpected. So there you go. Yeah, so Shian Nine is asking, Jangil bhai, please captain Saka, amar team e nai. Good luck with that, Jangir. Yeah. Bowen, keep or sell, Jangir?
Sell.
Okay.
If you need options, I gave already 5 or 6 options. Let me tell again: Foden, Saka, Martinelli, Zaha, Almiron, Rashford. I think you can go for one of them.
Okay. So I'll just bring something up. Thanks to Jangir for this one.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks
Never
Jangir.
back the early kickoff. Said by
Thanks.
the great Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah, thanks, Jangir. Thanks. This is really appreciated. Yeah. Okay. But I think I'll have to save this one as well. Yeah. Just making sure. Okay. Apurva Chaudhary says, still World Cup. What is your thought about Kane according to Spurs' recent form? Saif, over to you on this one.
Kane has been going on the radar, but he has been pretty consistent, and I think he can be a good option because Spurs are playing Bournemouth and then Liverpool. Both are pretty bad defensive sides, so I think Kane will continue to get returns.
Why was there a pause? Kane was continued to, and then there was a pause. Did you have difficulty saying it, or was it like the words got stuck in your throat? I don't know. Saif, you're really doing it today, brother. You're really doing it. Okay. Sankalp, question to you. Asaduজ্জামান Sharav is asking, who should be priority transfer, Saka or Foden?
Saka, primarily because I think minutes-wise, I'm a bit now shaky on Foden.
Okay. Right. Okay. Tanvir Latif, another gunner, is asking what to do with Zaha. Jangir?
I think keep, because his fixtures are extremely well. But even though his form is not well, Palace are not doing well, but keep Zaha, sorry.
Okay. So this one is then confirming that Bowen said in the post-match press conference he's no more on penalties. I actually missed this one, so thank God. I feel good that I went out with him. I mean, I'm happy with that. Okay, long question again, and it falls on side. You see, I'm not doing any conspiracies here. I think it's clear and crystal clear for everybody to see. Shahan Ahmed is asking, have 5 million in the bank? My goodness me, 5 million. Okay. And I'm just fed up on this Kane. Why? Why are you fed up, by the way? He's scoring in every match. Okay, so that's why you're fed up, because you don't have him in the team. Okay, that's why I want to own him first. Next 3 game weeks, budget wouldn't be an issue for me. Saif, what do you think?
As I said earlier, I think Kane would be a very good option for the next 3 game weeks. Also, you have the budget, so you can go for it.
Right. Okay, and the last question of the day, and it falls to our dear guest, Sankalp. Apurva Chaudhary says, Dallo or Luke Shaw?
Dallo. Bonus magnet. Attack is flowing by him. Dallo.
And as the moment I said last question, Somebody just decided to pop another one. Yeah. Impeccable timing today, guys. Impeccable timing in everything that we are doing today. Abdullah is saying, I have both Kukurela and Boy and I want to sell them both, but I have one FT, again, free transfer, not free hit. Is it worthy to take minus hit? Jangir.
If you have other playable defender, in that case, I will say that just sell Bowen and keep Kukurela selling next week. But if you don't have any other defender who will be playable this week, then sell both.
All right. I think I'm not going to take any more questions, so please don't send. And even if you're typing, please stop typing because I'm not going to take Sankalp's time away. I have taken already 1 hour, 50 minutes of his precious festive time. Thank you so much, Sankalp. Again, it was, as always, it was a pleasure. And you always make the whole discussion very light, but with your precise, to the point, very focused, emotionless questions and answers that you give. It's a different way of thinking, something that a lot of people are still getting used to. And I think the people that you're interacting with are quite new into this game. So when your opinion comes in like that, it's a very, it's refreshing. Yeah, that's what I would say. Because we are here more or less, and people know the way we talk, the style we use. We kind of go into a long, blah 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 before we kind of give the answer. You are kind of a bit more crisp, and it's fish and chips basically, if I have to put it in the English terms. Very very easy food to cook, and something that is quite blunt, but then you put it out there and it's still filling your stomach and serves the purpose. And that's exactly how your answers are, I feel. Very to the point, yet filling. Yeah, might not look extremely delicious and decorative like the French cuisine is, but still, it's good.
Thank
And
you
there
so
you
much.
go. You see, this is the comment that came in just now. See you again, Sankalp Nanda, brother. So people really love when they see you here. There is a lot of appreciation. I think when I speak, I'm speaking on behalf of entire Ghana football team. Saif is here; he'll say it himself. But I think even looking at Jahangir's expression, although he knows he's probably going to get hypnotized because he's scared as to what I'm going to say next. But I think looking at his expression, he's also kind of, super impressed. And he was very excited when I approached him, like, Sankalp is coming, would you like to join? He was like, sure.
Definitely, Sankalp. It was great sharing the stage with you, and I am hoping to be with you in many more shows, in many more game weeks, and it was a great experience with you.
Thank you
What's
so much.
WhatsApp?
Yeah, definitely. I'll share my number and thank you so much for having me here and for a lot of love that I see, as part of the Bangladesh FPL community. I'm so lucky to get to interact with people across countries now, across regions. That's one of the, fascinating aspects of football as a game, right? And for FPL as a game, right? Thank you so much, guys. And like I said, anytime you need me, just let me know. As long as I have time available, I would definitely love to join you guys and talk football.
Thank you, brother. WhatsApp, I'll tell you, in WhatsApp, we don't often understand the tone, right? So we have to use either emojis or the the punctuations to describe ourselves. But most of the time, people don't understand punctuation. I think that's where emojis came into play. So when I approached Jahangir and I asked him, Sankalp is coming, would you like to join? And he was like, sure. And then there was like 3-4 exclamation mark. And I think that says it all. And when I read it, and I'm like, wow, this guy is super excited to join. So, yeah. Saif, over to you. About your views.
Yeah, I just wish we had Sankalp last game week. I would not have captain Salah. If we had him. So my rank would not have dropped down to now 750k now. So I just wish we had him a week earlier. But seriously, it's always a great pleasure having. I just feel so honored to have shared this screen with you both times you have been here. Your way of thinking about fantasy and about football in general is really refreshing, as Nadim Bhai said. I think it's an eye opener for all the people who are following the pod, and I think you will influence a lot of people's ranks this game week through your way of thinking about fantasy and your approach to the game.
Second that. I second that. You'd influence a lot of people's fantasy rank this week. This week, yeah. Second
Hopefully,
that.
positively.
Not this week. This
Oh
is the
yeah,
night.
yeah. Not the other way around. Not the other way around. No, Sankalp. No. No, but yeah. Super, guys. Thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure, of course. And audience, thank you so much for staying so late and joining us. And of course, it's your love and your affection and your continuous support to Ghana Football Fantasy. That's what keeps us going. Do invite your friends. Do give us a review. Do follow us, and do support FPLBD and Ghana Football Fantasy. Until then, we'll meet next week. We'll have another special guest, hopefully. But until then, it's goodbye from me and good night.
Thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, to Sankalp and to everyone who are celebrating Happy Diwali.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.